Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Very excited to have Roman with Vanture Customs back on the channel. Today he's going to give us a tour of his newest creation, so join us.
Hey Patrick and YouTube, it's super exciting to be back on your channel. I'm excited to show you this new creation we just built for a customer. She brought us a Sprinter 144 1500. It's a gasoline twin turbo engine, rides still plenty power for the build. This van started out its life as a passenger van, so it came with the windows, with an air conditioner and seats. We had to delete all that stuff and spray foam insulate it, insulate it, and built it into our base build, adventure build, and did some add-ons like a 12 volt AC unit and some other goodies that you'll see inside. Check it out. All right, so right off the bat, we have seat swivels adapters that we put on the seats. They're nice Mercedes swivel seats. You have a lagoon table, and from the top, we'll start with the ceiling, tongue and groove ceiling that we custom milled down now to 1/2 inch to make it a little bit lighter. We use white pine, which is a little bit lighter as well. It's solid and it gives it a nice homey feel. And oh, well, look at that. There's a Vanture Customs hat here. Nice upper cabinet storage, finished maple plywood with edge banding, white edge banding, PVC edge banding, LED, cob LED underneath, brings in some light, tongue and groove wall, 110 volt outlet, GFI outlet, so it's protected, and USB, 4-port USB that runs directly off of your 12 volt batteries. A butcher block countertop finished off with the good stuff. Very good way to protect your butcher block. A 65 liter Dometic fridge with a little freezer inside. Runs off of your 12 volt batteries, doesn't consume much power, and you can fit and live 2 people out of that pretty easily. Floor, we have insulation underneath the floor as well as subfloor and life-proof vinyl click-together flooring wrapped around with aluminum angle. We have it wrapped around all of our edges that are prone to getting damaged. We have some rental vans that go through some abuse, and we know from that what to put into our vans to make it easy to maintain for longevity of our vans. We also wrap our cabinets after we build them with laminate, white laminate. You can scrub them, wipe them down with acetone, whatever, without damaging any paint. Here we have a flip out table. Butcher block extends your counter space by a ton and keeps it pretty solid too. Just flip it down just like that. Clicks in, doesn't rattle around when you're driving. Nice way to add some valuable counter space. Over here we have a really deep sink. It's a 17 by 15 with a black faucet, which you can pull out and shower with outside, rinse off your feet or whatever. You don't really have to do that because you have a shower right behind me. And down here we have a fresh water level gauge as well as on and off switches for our water heater and water pump. Below that we have the 7-gallon gray water tank. That's for your sink, and a ton of storage that you can fit pretty much anything else you want. And if you look up here, we have a max air fan. This is a 7500K max air fan, runs 12 volt power, 10 speed both ways. This is the remote that you control it with. It's a pretty simple mechanism and works really great and quiet. A Webasto heater that runs off of gasoline, even though it's a Sprinter, which is located right below that passenger seat, tucked in there nicely. We had to tap into the fuel tank because gasoline Sprinters don't have an auxiliary fuel tap. Fun fact. That is the Renogy inverter controller. This has an inverter charger that's 3000 watt, so you can charge offshore and power 3000 watts of goodies through a 110 volt outlet, which is located right here. And you have a 4-port USB plugs right there. Dual dimmer switch that we ran a separate diode into as well to prevent the LEDs from flickering when the heater comes on. And below the bed we have some underbed storage that's pushed to open. We put batteries in there in the drawers to make sure that they don't fly open on you. And yeah, it worked. These are huge drawers and add a ton of storage that's easily accessible. Up here we have some more upper cabinet storage, and oh wow, there's another Vanture Customs hat. And they're supported with gas struts and held in with RV J latches that keep your stuff from falling out on people. Next to that we have the 12 volt RTX 2000 Dometic AC unit. It's a lot to say, but it's a great little unit and keeps this area cool like super easily and doesn't draw that much power. This bed is a little bit shorter than we typically would put in the Sprinter, but the customer wanted it this way. It's 70 by 67, plenty for the customer to sleep this way or that way. And she has USB chargers at her reading lights. They're tapped to turn on both ends, which is super useful. I use mine every day. And behind me, we have a shower. That's a small shower that we've made because we don't have to run plumbing behind the wall. It's a 1/2-inch wall that we laminated and built in here. Down here, we have an ABS plastic shower pan wrapped around with PVC plastic that has no seams, and it is covered with red guard on the exterior with Baltic birch plywood. This is a very efficient RV shower head, which helps save on gallons per minute. And I have a Nautilus door shower, which self-squeeges off so it stays dry and very easy to use. And wrapped around with aluminum angle as well to keep everything and all your edges nice and rugged. And the shower empties into a 20-gallon gray water tank, which is controlled by a valve that you can empty out whenever you are in an appropriate gray water dumping station. Let me show you up front again how this lagoon table stores away. When you're ready to drive, you just crank that handle, loosen it up, and since this works on friction and aluminum, you might have to wiggle it. I usually leverage it from the bottom, tighten it up again, and then you could store it. I think this one goes this way. Yeah, then you can store it this way, crank it down again a little bit, and it'll stay there pretty steady when you're driving, even on more aggressive turns. Usually on the side we put the carbon detector, smoke detector, fire extinguishers here. Also there's a little vent for the fridge. There's also another vent behind the fridge. Remember to vent your fridges. They don't like to be hot. It's a fridge. More storage here, big drawer. You can fit a ton in there. All right, well that pretty much wraps it up on the inside. I got a lot to show you in the back as well. Let's check it out. So back here we got plenty of storage, as you can see. I love storage. And I'll climb in here and show you our electrical box first. We have 6 100 amp hour of batteries, and they're all smart lithium batteries, not dumb. You can turn them off when you're working on them and they heat themselves up as well. 3000 watt inverter charger that lets you plug in and charge your batteries as well as your shore power. Breakers all lined up right there, labeled for you. Everything is neatly tucked away and routed through, as well as a 60 amp DC to DC charger, pretty beefy charger. And there's at the end over there, 40 amp MPPT solar controller that you can regulate and control, look at your battery percentage from your phone Bluetooth app. There's also a little fan over here that's a desktop fan that keeps everything cool, sucks in cold air from there, hot air out there. The bed, we use a slatted CNC platform, and we paint it to keep away moisture and mold from your mattress. It's very important in the RV world, and for the bed platform to support, we use the 2x1 metal tubing. All right, and now as you see, I'm sitting on a big slide out bike tray. You can load up to 500 pounds on this thing. Not that much weight, but you get the idea. Over here we have a over the wheel well tank by Northwest Conversions. Pretty solid tank. I like the material of it. It seems solid. We have a water level gauge sensor in the back. Our flow jet water pump with a little dirt collector filter there. You know, this customer chose a open water system. We do have the option to close it all in. This customer chose to have it open. They can still store stuff on top of the tank, and I like to have the open water system so you can see everything is nice and tidy. Our hot water comes from the 2.5 gallon Bosch water heater. It's a 110 volt water heater, so it's powered from that outlet, and you turn that on and off from the kitchen that I showed earlier. And this is how you fill up your water, just a city inlet. You do have an option for a gravity fed inlet, but this customer chose not to have one. And up on the roof of this van, we have a RTX 2000 12 volt air conditioner powered by the 175 solar panels. There's 2 of them, as well as a max air fan, the 7500K Deluxe. And just to wrap it up, over on this side, we have the short plug. It's 30 amp short plug where you plug in and fill up your batteries with power. And underneath the van, we have a 20 gallon gray water tank, which we used stainless steel and aluminum brackets to secure it because you don't want that stuff rusting down the road. All right, that pretty much wraps up this tour. I hope you guys saw something you like. Thanks so much for watching it and checking it out. If you guys want to follow us on Vanture.Customs on Instagram, we're also on YouTube, TikTok, on all platforms, Facebook. Please give us a thumbs up and Vanture on.
Roman, always a pleasure to have you on the channel. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. We'll see you soon.